Have you ever felt proud for eating healthier, more vegetables, more smoothies, less junk food, only to find out that something still isn't right? You wake up with swollen ankles, feel tired for no reason, or notice that your energy just isn't coming back like it used to. Most people brush it off as getting older. But what if I told you those small signs could be your kidneys crying for help, quietly, desperately, without making a sound? You see, unlike your heart that races when it's stressed, or your lungs that cough when they're irritated, your kidneys almost never complain. They just keep working, filtering your blood day and night until one day they can't anymore. And here's the terrifying truth: you can lose up to 90% of your kidney function before a single symptom ever shows up. By the time you feel something is wrong, the damage may already be severe, even irreversible. But here's where things get even more shocking. Millions of Americans are unknowingly speeding up that damage every single day, not through fast food or soda, but through the very foods they believe are keeping them healthy. Vegetables. Yes, vegetables. Some of the same superfoods promoted on health blogs and juice bars may actually be overloading your kidneys with hidden toxins, minerals, and acids they can no longer handle. I'm Dr. Johnny, and in this episode, I'm going to show you which vegetables silently sabotage your kidneys and which ones can actually heal and protect them. By the end, you'll know exactly how to build a plate that nourishes your body without pushing your kidneys toward failure. Because knowledge isn't just power, it's protection. So before you reach for that next salad or smoothie, stay with me. What you'll learn in the next few minutes could literally save your kidneys and your life. Let's start with something that sits on almost every kitchen shelf: tomatoes. Bright, tangy, and loved by millions. But the danger isn't in the tomato itself. It's what we turn it into. When you take something naturally harmless and concentrate it into paste sauce, ketchup, or juice, you're not just capturing flavor, you're concentrating minerals too. And for your kidneys, that concentration can quietly become a time bomb. You see, your kidneys aren't afraid of a fresh tomato. 1 or 2 slices in a salad, no problem. But when you scoop tomato paste into your pasta sauce, that same food suddenly becomes 5 to 10 times stronger in potassium. 1 single cup of unsalted tomato sauce can contain nearly 1,000 milligrams of potassium, almost half the daily limit for anyone with reduced kidney function. The more concentrated it gets, the heavier the load your kidneys must carry. That's exactly what happened to Robert, a 59-year-old retiree who thought he was eating clean. Every Sunday, he'd proudly make his own healthy tomato sauce from scratch. No store-bought junk, no preservatives, just pure tomato paste and olive oil. What he didn't know was that each serving of his homemade sauce contained over 1,500 milligrams of potassium. His blood tests soon showed dangerously high potassium levels, and he began feeling tired, dizzy, and short of breath. When his doctor ran an ECG, his heart rhythm was off, classic signs of hyperkalemia, a silent killer that can stop the heart without warning. Here's the science behind it. When potassium builds up faster than the kidneys can remove it, it interferes with the heart's electrical system. It starts subtly: muscle weakness, fatigue, then suddenly the heartbeat turns irregular. That's why doctors call hyperkalemia the quiet arrhythmia. You never see it coming until it's almost too late. Once Robert understood what was happening, he didn't need to give up tomatoes entirely. He just needed to respect their concentration. He cut his sauce portions to 2 tablespoons per meal, switched to fresh diced tomatoes, and used herbs like basil and parsley for extra flavor. Within weeks, his potassium levels normalized and his energy returned. So if you love pasta night, keep it, just don't drown it in concentrated sauce. A small change in your recipe could be the difference between protecting your kidneys and pushing them closer to failure. But only knowing this isn't enough, because the next food on our list isn't just hidden in recipes, it's served on almost every dinner table, and its danger runs even deeper. Stay with me, because what comes next may surprise you. If tomato sauce is the silent attack, this next one is a full-blown ambush, the beloved comfort food that hides in almost every meal. Potatoes. Mashed, baked, fried, or roasted, they've been part of family dinners and Sunday traditions for generations. They remind us of warmth, holidays, and home. But for your kidneys, that warm plate of potatoes can be anything but comforting. Here's the truth most people never hear: 1 medium-baked potato can contain up to 1,000 milligrams of potassium, and its healthy cousin, the sweet potato, can reach even higher, around 1,200 milligrams per cup of mash. That means a single serving can push you past your entire safe daily limit in one sitting. And when your kidneys are already slowing down, whether from age, blood pressure, or early kidney disease, that potassium doesn't leave your body fast enough. It builds up silently like water rising behind a dam until suddenly it breaks. That's what happened to Linda, 64-year-old grandmother, who thought she was doing everything right. She had cut sugar, avoided junk food, and filled her plate with healthy sides. But during one Thanksgiving dinner, she loaded her plate with mashed potatoes, sweet potatoes, and roasted red potatoes, thinking she was eating clean. Within hours, her potassium spiked so high that her heart rhythm became unstable. She ended up in the emergency room, terrified, hooked up to monitors that beeped with every irregular beat. The doctors called it acute hyperkalemia and told her she was lucky they caught it in time. From a medical perspective, here's why that happens. The kidneys are responsible for maintaining the delicate balance of potassium in your blood, usually between 3.5 and 5.0 millimoles per liter. When they weaken, that balance falters. The excess potassium interferes with the tiny electrical signals that control your heartbeat. At first, it just makes you tired or weak, but as levels rise, the electrical rhythm of your heart literally starts to distort. It's like static overtaking a radio signal until the music stops completely. But there's a way to enjoy potatoes without letting them destroy your kidneys. It's called leaching, a simple process that can remove up to 70% of the potassium. You peel and cut the potatoes into small pieces, soak them in water for several hours, then boil them in fresh water instead of baking or roasting. This helps draw out much of the excess potassium. Yet even then, portion control is everything. Experts recommend keeping servings small, about a quarter cup, and avoiding eating multiple forms of potatoes in the same meal. Linda learned this the hard way, but she changed her habits. She still enjoys her favorite foods, just smarter leach potatoes, smaller portions, and plenty of low-potassium vegetables like cauliflower on the side. Today, her potassium levels stay steady, her heart feels stronger, and her kidneys are finally catching a break. So yes, potatoes can be part of your life, but only if you learn how to respect them. Because when it comes to kidney health, even the most innocent comfort foods can turn into silent saboteurs if you ignore the details. But only knowing this isn't enough, because there's another superfood praised by athletes and wellness gurus that can quietly injure your kidneys from the inside out. And you've probably had it in a smoothie before. Stay with me, because this one will shock you. If potatoes are the comfort food that quietly overloads your kidneys, then this next one is the fitness food that fools even the healthiest eaters. Beets, bright, beautiful, and praised everywhere for their power to boost circulation and lower blood pressure. You'll see them in wellness blogs, detox smoothies, and gym supplements. They look like the perfect food for heart health. But here's the hidden truth: what's good for your heart can sometimes be terrible for your kidneys. Beets are loaded with potassium and oxalates, two elements that in excess can quietly damage kidney tissue. A single glass of beet juice can contain between 450 to 600 milligrams of potassium, and those trendy beet powders and concentrated performance shots can push that number even higher. To a healthy kidney, that might not sound dangerous. But if your filtration system is already under strain from high blood pressure, diabetes, or even mild kidney disease, this extra load can tip the balance. But the potassium isn't the only issue. The real threat lies in something most people never think about: oxalates. These are natural compounds that bind with calcium inside the body. When levels climb too high, they form tiny, razor-sharp crystals that lodge inside the kidneys. Those crystals irritate delicate tissue, triggering inflammation, pain, and in some cases, a full blockage of the filtration system. That's exactly what happened to David, a 48-year-old fitness enthusiast who believed beet juice was his secret weapon. After reading online about its benefits for blood flow and endurance, he began drinking a tall glass every morning before his workouts. For 3 weeks, he felt unstoppable, more energy, better stamina, faster recovery. But then it started: dull pain in his lower back, fatigue, and cloudy urine. By the time he saw a doctor, his blood test showed severe kidney inflammation. A CT scan revealed oxalate crystals clogging his kidneys. He was diagnosed with acute oxalate nephropathy, a sudden kidney injury caused by too much beet intake. It took him 6 months to recover, and the first thing his doctor told him was, never touch beet juice again. The science is clear. While beets contain nitrates that help open blood vessels, their oxalate content, up to 152 milligrams per 100 grams, can quickly become toxic when juiced or powdered. The concentration skyrockets, and instead of helping your body detox, it actually creates the perfect storm for crystal formation. That's why medical journals have reported real cases of healthy people developing kidney damage after just a few weeks of daily beet smoothies. If you love beets, moderation and preparation are everything. Eat them occasionally in small amounts and always with calcium-rich foods like cheese or yogurt, which help bind oxalates in the gut before they reach your kidneys. But avoid beet powders, concentrated juices, and detox shots. They're not cleansing you, they're overloading you. So next time you see a bright red smoothie that promises energy and detox, remember David's story. Sometimes the most colorful foods hide the darkest dangers. But only knowing this isn't enough, because the next vegetable doesn't just harm your kidneys, it can destroy them almost overnight. And the scariest part, it looks innocent, it tastes sweet, and you've probably eaten it in a pie. Stay with me. The truth about rhubarb will shock you. If beets can injure your kidneys slowly, rhubarb can strike like lightning. It looks innocent, vibrant red stalks, glossy leaves, a sweet tart flavor that shows up in pies, jams, and desserts. But beneath that cheerful color lies one of the most dangerous plants you could ever eat if your kidneys are even slightly weak. Rhubarb is nature's master of disguise. 1 cup of diced stalks can contain over 1,000 milligrams of oxalates, more than 20 times what a sensitive kidney can safely handle in a single day. Once those oxalates enter your bloodstream, they latch onto calcium and form microscopic needles that scratch and clog the kidney's delicate filters. It's not just painful, it's catastrophic. That's what happened to Sarah, a 56-year-old teacher who loved baking. One spring weekend, she attended 3 family gatherings in a row, each one featuring her famous rhubarb crisp. By Monday morning, she was doubled over in pain, nauseous, and unable to urinate properly. At the hospital, tests showed her kidney function had plummeted. Microscopic crystals had blocked her nephrons like sand in a water filter. The diagnosis, acute oxalate nephropathy, her kidneys were literally shutting down. Sarah spent weeks on temporary dialysis before her kidneys slowly recovered, and her doctor gave her one permanent rule: no more rhubarb ever. Here's why that happens so fast. When oxalates flood the system, the kidneys race to excrete them. But once the concentration surpasses what the body can process, the crystals grow sharp, fusing into clusters that slice through renal tissue. Even one large serving of rhubarb jam or pie filling can be enough to trigger this chain reaction. Cooking or baking doesn't destroy oxalates. It can actually make them denser per bite. And unlike potassium, which causes gradual stress, rhubarb's impact is sudden, like pulling the plug on your filtration system. If you truly love that tart flavor, choose safer substitutes. Berries, cranberries, or even apples provide the same refreshing acidity without the oxalate overload. But for anyone with chronic kidney disease, high creatinine, or a history of stones, rhubarb isn't just risky, it's a red flag waving danger. So the next time you see a slice of rhubarb pie glowing on a bakery shelf, remember Sarah's story. A dessert that looks harmless could send your kidneys into crisis overnight. But only knowing this isn't enough, because the next vegetable takes the danger even further. It attacks from both sides at once. It's green, it's praised as healthy, and it hides a double dose of trouble. Stay tuned, because Swiss chard might be the silent overload sitting on your plate right now. If rhubarb is a single bullet to the kidneys, Swiss chard is a double shot. It's the leafy green that wears a halo, beautiful, vibrant, and promoted as a super veggie in countless plant-based diets. It looks like the poster child for clean eating: glossy green leaves, colorful stems packed with vitamins. But for someone with kidney concerns, Swiss chard delivers a hidden 1-2 punch that few people see coming. That's because it's rich in 2 of the most stressful compounds for weakened kidneys: potassium and oxalates, both at the same time. 1 cup of cooked Swiss chard can contain nearly 1,000 milligrams of potassium, roughly the same as a baked potato, plus over 1,200 milligrams of oxalates, more than enough to send vulnerable kidneys into overdrive. It's like asking a runner with a sprained ankle to sprint uphill while carrying weights. Take the story of Michael, a 62-year-old retiree who switched to a plant-based lifestyle after his doctor warned him about cholesterol. He filled his fridge with greens, especially Swiss chard, sautéing it almost every day with olive oil and garlic. He felt proud. He thought he was protecting his heart. But within 2 months, his blood tests told a different story. His potassium had climbed dangerously high, and an ultrasound revealed his first kidney stone. The very vegetable he believed was saving him was actually overloading him from both directions. From a scientific view, here's why. Excess potassium in the bloodstream causes hyperkalemia, which disrupts the electrical rhythm of the heart, while oxalates bind with calcium to form crystals that can block urine flow and scar renal tissue. When both rise together, the kidneys are forced to fight on two fronts, maintaining electrolyte balance and filtering out crystal-forming compounds. Boiling Swiss chard can remove some soluble oxalates, but potassium stays mostly intact, and juicing. That's even worse, it concentrates both into a single glass. So what can you do instead? Rotate your greens. Swap Swiss chard for lower-risk options like cabbage, kale, or lettuce, and never assume that more greens automatically means more health. If you have kidney disease or even mildly reduced function, treat Swiss chard as an occasional garnish, not a daily staple. Michael learned that lesson the hard way, but his recovery was simple once he made the switch. His potassium normalized, his energy returned, and his doctor told him something that stuck. The right greens heal, the wrong ones hurt. So while Swiss chard might look like nature's gift for your kidneys, it's a ticking time bomb wrapped in green. But only knowing this isn't enough, because the next vegetable is the most deceptive of all. It's hailed as a superfood across the world, yet for the kidneys, it's pure poison in disguise. Stay with me, because spinach, the so-called king of greens, may actually be the most dangerous one of them all. If Swiss chard is the double threat, spinach is the silent assassin. It's been crowned a global superfood, low in calories, high in nutrients, and worshipped by wellness influencers and health magazines. From green smoothies to salads to baby food, spinach is everywhere. But the truth few people realize is this: for your kidneys, spinach can be a slow and steady disaster, hiding behind a healthy label. The danger comes from its extremely high oxalate content, some of the highest in the entire plant kingdom. Just 100 grams of raw spinach can contain around 970 milligrams of oxalates. That's nearly 20 times more than a kidney can safely process in one day. But here's where things get really scary. Nobody eats just 100 grams. When you blend spinach into a smoothie, you're not eating a salad, you're drinking the equivalent of 3 or 4 cups in one gulp. That's more than 2,000 milligrams of oxalates flooding your system all at once. That's exactly what happened to Jennifer, a 34-year-old yoga instructor who believed she was taking care of her body. For 6 weeks, she drank a spinach smoothie every morning, fresh, organic, clean. At first, she felt amazing. More energy, glowing skin, better focus. But slowly the symptoms crept in: fatigue, nausea, and a dull ache in her lower back. When she finally went for tests, her kidneys were full of oxalate crystals. The diagnosis was acute oxalate nephropathy. Her kidneys were clogged and inflamed. Her filtration rate had dropped to dangerous levels, and she was facing temporary dialysis. The science behind it is clear. Oxalates in spinach bind with calcium to form sharp crystals that lodge in the kidneys, damaging tiny filtration tubules and blocking urine flow. Over time, these microscopic injuries build up, leading to kidney stones, chronic pain, and eventually kidney failure. And the worst part, most people doing green detoxes or clean eating challenges have no idea they're overloading their kidneys every single morning. Cooking spinach can reduce some oxalates, but not enough to make it safe in large amounts. The real solution is diversity and moderation. Mix your greens, use kale, cabbage, or lettuce instead of making spinach your daily go-to. And if you love smoothies, rotate low oxalate options like cucumber, parsley, or zucchini to give your kidneys a break. Jennifer learned that health isn't about following trends, it's about understanding balance. Once she removed raw spinach from her routine, her energy returned, her labs normalized, and her doctor told her something simple but powerful: your kidneys don't need a cleanse, they need relief. So yes, spinach may look like a hero, but for kidneys under pressure, it can quietly become the villain. But only knowing this isn't enough, because while these vegetables can silently sabotage your kidneys, there are others that can actually protect and heal them naturally, gently, and powerfully. Stay with me, because the next part reveals the vegetables that don't destroy your kidneys. They defend them. After hearing about so many foods that silently damage your kidneys, it's easy to feel discouraged, like every vegetable might be a hidden threat. But the truth is, not all plants are enemies. Some are quiet healers, helping your kidneys recover and even strengthen over time. And one of the best examples of that healing power comes from a humble, often overlooked vegetable: cauliflower. Cauliflower doesn't look flashy. It doesn't have the deep colors of beets or the Instagram appeal of green smoothies. But beneath that simple, pale surface lies one of the most kidney-friendly vegetables you can eat. It's naturally low in potassium, phosphorus, sodium, and oxalates, the exact combination your kidneys need to stay balanced. 1 cup of cooked cauliflower contains only about 88 milligrams of potassium and a mere 20 milligrams of phosphorus, which is almost nothing compared to the 1,000+ milligrams hiding in potatoes or spinach. That's why nephrologists often call cauliflower a foundation food for kidney protection. It provides fiber, antioxidants, and gentle hydration without adding to the kidney's workload. Think of it as a soft pillow for your filtration system, nourishing, supportive, but never heavy. Take the story of Margaret, a 67-year-old woman who came to my clinic feeling hopeless. Her creatinine levels were rising, her energy was fading, and she believed dialysis was only months away. We adjusted her diet, cutting back on high-potassium foods and replacing her nightly mashed potatoes with creamy cauliflower mash flavored with a touch of garlic and olive oil. Within 6 weeks, her lab numbers began to shift. Her potassium stabilized, her creatinine dropped slightly, and she told me something unforgettable: "Doctor, for the first time in years, I don't feel swollen when I wake up." The science behind it is simple but powerful. Cauliflower belongs to the cruciferous vegetable family, known for compounds like sulforaphane and glucosinolates that reduce inflammation and support detoxification enzymes in the liver and kidneys. These compounds help neutralize oxidative stress, one of the biggest drivers of kidney cell damage. In other words, cauliflower doesn't just avoid harm, it actively helps your body fight back. And here's the best part: it's endlessly versatile. You can roast it, mash it, steam it, or even turn it into rice. It absorbs flavors, beautifully garlic herbs, or even a light drizzle of lemon. Every serving gives your kidneys a gentle break while still letting you enjoy real satisfying food. So if you've been afraid that eating healthy means giving up your favorite comfort dishes, remember Margaret's story. Sometimes healing doesn't come from restriction, it comes from smart swaps. But only knowing this isn't enough, because there's another colorful vegetable that doesn't just protect your kidneys, it shields your heart and blood vessels too. And its secret weapon lies in its vibrant red color. Stay with me, because next we'll uncover the power of the red bell pepper, your kidney's bright, unexpected ally. After learning how cauliflower quietly heals from the inside out, let's turn to something a little more colorful: the vegetable that brings energy to your plate and protection to your kidneys. The humble red bell pepper. Bright, sweet, and crisp, it's not just a garnish for salads or stir-fries. For kidney health, it's one of nature's most powerful shields. And it guards not just your kidneys, but your heart as well. Most people think of peppers as simple flavor boosters. But what makes the red bell pepper extraordinary is its unique nutritional balance. It's low in potassium, phosphorus, and sodium, which means your kidneys don't have to overwork to filter it. Yet it's packed with vitamin C, beta-carotene, flavonoids, and lycopene, all of which fight inflammation and oxidative stress. 2 silent forces that chip away at kidney cells day after day. 1 cup of chopped red bell pepper has only about 250 milligrams of potassium, but delivers more than 150% of your daily vitamin C. That's a win-win your kidneys can actually celebrate. And it's not just about the kidneys. Kidney disease and heart disease often walk hand in hand. When one weakens, the other follows. That's why antioxidants like those in red bell peppers matter so much. They help protect blood vessels, lower oxidative stress, and improve circulation, all of which reduce the strain on your filtration system. Take George, one of my long-term patients. He was 61, dealing with stage 3 chronic kidney disease and high blood pressure. He used to load his meals with tomato sauce, thinking it was healthy. When we swapped that for diced red peppers, sauteed, roasted, even blended into soups, his potassium levels balanced out within weeks. His blood pressure dropped by 10 points, and he told me something simple but powerful. "Doctor, I finally feel lighter after eating." The beauty of red bell peppers is how easy they are to use. You can slice them raw into salads, roast them for a smoky sweetness, or stuff them with grains and herbs for a complete kidney-friendly meal. They're proof that eating for kidney health doesn't have to be bland. It can be colorful, flavorful, and deeply satisfying. So when you reach for flavor, skip the ketchup or the high-sodium sauces. Reach for the real thing red peppers. They don't just make your food look alive, they help keep you alive. But only knowing this isn't enough, because there's another ingredient one that doesn't just flavor your food, it can literally lower your blood pressure and calm the inflammation that destroys your kidneys from within. Stay tuned, because next we'll talk about garlic, the ancient healer, with modern scientific proof. After the sweetness and color of red bell peppers, let's turn to something smaller, humbler, but infinitely more powerful. Garlic. For thousands of years, it's been treasured not just as a flavor, but as a medicine. Ancient healers used it to fight infections and purify the blood long before modern science could explain why. And today, research proves what tradition always knew. Garlic is one of the most potent kidney protectors in your kitchen. The secret lies in its organosulfur compounds, especially allicin, the compound released when you crush or chop a fresh clove. Allicin is what gives garlic that sharp, unmistakable aroma. But inside your body, it acts like a natural anti-inflammatory antioxidant and mild blood thinner, a triple shield that directly protects your kidneys from three of their biggest enemies: inflammation, oxidative stress, and high blood pressure. Think about it this way: when your kidneys are under pressure, blood vessels tighten, inflammation rises, and free radicals start to damage tiny filtration cells. Garlic helps on every front. It relaxes blood vessels, allowing smoother circulation. It neutralizes those damaging free radicals. And it calms inflammation at the cellular level, all without straining your kidneys like chemical medications sometimes do. Take Patricia, a 60-year-old woman with stage 3 kidney disease. Her blood pressure was stubbornly high, even on medication. She started adding 2 crushed cloves of raw garlic into her meals every day, letting them sit for 10 minutes before cooking to activate the allicin. Within 3 months, her blood pressure dropped from 150/95 to 135/85, and her inflammation markers improved dramatically. Her doctor didn't change her prescriptions. It was her food that changed her numbers. And here's the science to back it up. Studies published in the Journal of Hypertension and the American Journal of Nephrology show that regular garlic consumption can lower systolic blood pressure by an average of 8 to 15 points and reduce oxidative stress in people with chronic kidney disease. That means less strain on your nephrons, the tiny filters that keep your blood clean. The best part: garlic gives you flavor without the salt. You can add it to soups, sautés, sauces, anywhere you'd normally reach for a shaker of sodium. Every time you do, you're not just seasoning your food, you're seasoning your health. So the next time you're in the kitchen, don't underestimate that tiny clove. Crush it, let it breathe, and let your kidneys breathe easier too. But only knowing this isn't enough, because the next vegetable doesn't just help it train your kidneys to protect themselves. Stay with me, because cabbage, the quiet underdog, holds a secret that could change how your body defends against kidney damage. After hearing about garlic's ancient healing power, you might think nothing in the vegetable world could top that. But there's one more hero, quiet, unassuming, and often ignored in the produce aisle, that works on a level most foods can't. It doesn't just help your kidneys, it actually teaches them to protect themselves. That hero is cabbage. Cabbage doesn't look like much at first glance. It's pale, inexpensive, and often treated as a side dish rather than a star. But it's one of the most kidney-safe vegetables you'll ever find. It's naturally low in potassium, phosphorus, sodium, and oxalates, which means it gives your kidneys nourishment without adding any extra load. Yet what makes cabbage truly extraordinary lies deeper in its chemistry. Cabbage belongs to the cruciferous vegetable family, along with cauliflower and broccoli. It's rich in a compound called sulforaphane, which activates a powerful internal pathway known as NRF2. Think of NRF2 as your body's built-in defense switch. When it turns on, your cells start producing their own antioxidants and detox enzymes, the kind that repair damage and neutralize toxins before they can harm your kidneys. In other words, cabbage doesn't just reduce the harm coming in, it strengthens your kidneys' natural resilience from within. That's exactly what helped George, one of my long-term patients who'd been battling chronic inflammation and early kidney decline. We didn't overhaul his diet overnight. We just added small portions of steamed cabbage 3 times a week in soup, stir-fries, or lightly sautéed with garlic and olive oil. Within a few months, his inflammation markers dropped. His energy improved, and his EGFR, a key measure of kidney function, inched upward. He told me, "Doctor, I didn't expect a vegetable this cheap to make me feel this good." And that's the beauty of it. Real healing doesn't always come from expensive supplements or miracle powders. Sometimes it comes from what's been sitting in your kitchen all along. Modern research supports this. Studies in the Clinical Journal of the American Society of Nephrology confirm that sulforaphane-rich foods like cabbage can reduce oxidative stress and even slow kidney function decline in people with mild to moderate CKD. And because cabbage is high in fiber, it helps your gut eliminate waste more efficiently, taking pressure off your kidneys and supporting the entire detox process naturally. Cabbage proves that healing doesn't have to be complicated, costly, or extreme. It's gentle, reliable, and accessible, exactly what your kidneys need most. You can eat it raw in coleslaw, steamed with herbs, or lightly sautéed. Whichever way you prefer, your kidneys will thank you for it. So if you've been overwhelmed by what to eat and what to avoid, remember this: sometimes the simplest foods carry the strongest protection. But only knowing this isn't enough, because there's still one massive myth we need to break: the detox lie that has fooled millions of people into harming their kidneys in the name of cleansing. Stay with me, because in the next part, I'll reveal why your kidneys are already the ultimate detox system and what they truly need instead. You've just learned the truth that most people never hear: that not every vegetable heals and not every healthy habit is safe for your kidneys. But I want you to remember, this awareness is power, and small, consistent choices are what protect your kidneys for life. You don't need perfection. You just need progress, one smart swap, one better decision at a time. If you've watched this far, it means you care about your health, and that already puts you miles ahead of where you were yesterday. So start small. Replace one risky food with a healing one. Trade your tomato sauce for roasted red peppers, your mashed potatoes for creamy cauliflower, your salt for crushed garlic, and your old fears for confidence. Every single change you make is a message to your body: I'm listening. I'm taking care of you. And before you go do something for your future self, save this video so you can come back to it whenever you need guidance. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell, because every week I share the latest medical insights, food tips, and proven ways to protect your kidneys, backed by real science and real patient stories. Your next big breakthrough might be in the very next video. So here's my challenge for you tonight. When you sit down to eat, look at your plate and ask yourself one question: is this helping my kidneys or hurting them? Because the answer to that question, repeated every day, could be what keeps you off dialysis and gives you back the life you deserve. Your kidneys may be silent, but they're always listening. Treat them kindly, and they will keep you strong for years to come. I'm Dr. Johnny. Thank you for watching. Thank you for caring. And I'll see you in the next video, where we'll uncover the morning habits that can either save your kidneys or silently sabotage them.